Oh, oh, the heartbreak. Oh, the misery. Oh, how heart crushing that was. Oh, man. Wide open, they had a chance. Welcome, everybody. This is the Reaction Pod, Locked On UCLA. Welcome. I'm Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks for tuning in. UCLA fought with the heart of a champion. They were undermanned, undersized, fought and fought and fought until Arizona did all they could do just to eke past the Bruins. You could talk about the Amari Bailey overturned dunk in the first half from the worst offensive foul call in the history. And of course, the Bruins end up losing by 2. You don't want to say that makes a difference in the first half, but in the end, UCLA was down to 2 bigs. They both fouled out. Just a heartbreaking effort for UCLA when they were grinding it away. You could see Amari Bailey shining. Hawkes grinding. Tiger Campbell so close on a free throw that would have tied the game late in the stages of that game. And then, of course, just the only 3 that was made between the 2 3-point specialists, Courtney Ramey, David Singleton. Both those 2 guys, only one of those 2 hit shots, and it was Courtney Ramey at the end for the win for Arizona. A lot of things mentally going on right now here in this kind of reaction pod. UCLA had their chances. They had their chance to put this away. But then you could see Arizona chip away when Mac Etienne fouled out, Nuba fouled out, and just the sheer size and the multitude of size that Arizona had in this game. And the Bruins didn't turn over Arizona. They weren't thriving on the emotion of a home poly crowd. It was basically, they're basically in Tucson in the McHale Center, basically out there in Vegas. And despite all that, UCLA put their foot forward. Kind of gathering thoughts here. UCLA, one would hope that this is the only disappointment they suffer in March and that there's 6 games left. Again, there's a lot to hope for if Adem Bona is back. You can see how different they played, even without Jalen Clark, how much Bona makes a difference. And with Arizona, I'm not entirely sure how many teams in the country can throw that much size at you with multiple bigs with skills different ways, with DeBellis, with Ballo, just guys that can just throw right at you and go right after UCLA's weakness, especially with Bona out with that left shoulder injury for this Pac-12 Tournament Championship game. But it was nice to see guys step up. Even though Andrews missed that last shot, he put up 8 points off the bench. You saw Bailey step up in huge ways. Guys on the bench, Etienne, 7 boards. It's been a while since he's been asked to play this many minutes, and they rose to the challenge, and unfortunately they fell a little bit short. And I think the end result of this will be, I think Joe Lunardi's been trying to tell us, while we might think and a lot of people on social media might be thinking Joe Lunardi might be a piece of crap, he might be just an a-hole, whatever you want to say. I think he's reading the minds of the selection committee's top 16 from a few weeks ago, where they didn't have UCLA necessarily that high up on the 2 seed line. UCLA had to, despite all these wins, stack up their resume. And now it looks like UCLA could very well, will they get bumped out not only as the 1 seed in the West, you could get bumped out as the 1, the 2, you can not even be the 2 seed in the West Regional. And as opposed to that, you might go from Sacramento, Vegas, and while they might get the extra day if they go to Denver for their first round game, UCLA might not, because of this loss and the head-to-head technically against Arizona, be kicked out of the West Regional entirely based on, you look at the seeding projections. So this could have some implications, which we won't know until Sunday afternoon after we set our clocks forward and sit around in the disappointment. It was a highly entertaining game. It's unfortunate it came down to the buzzer. The Bruins were making plays, getting steals, but, Tiger Campbell, as they kept saying, 85% free throw shooter, missed 2 free throws. And that was, one of their best free throw shooters missing a pair. And overall, the Bruins played as good as they could, as well as they could. They grinded. But that's the danger I've tried to warn of what UCLA is facing with. Jalen Clark, yes, without him, they went on a big run at home in Pauley Pavilion. But when you go to Las Vegas and there's a lot more red than there is blue, and then you take out Adem Bona, and while prognostications, I think, the diagnosis of his left shoulder, I think from what I've heard, is that he should play in the NCAA tournament. At least he's going to grind it out from what I've heard. We've seen much worse starts in situations for UCLA from the first 4 to the final 4. The difference was it was more of a bubble, so there wasn't as much traveling involved. So we'll see how this sort of refigured tournament scenario looks like for UCLA. It's tough that it happened like this, but Mick Cronin can possibly go to work, certainly will go to work, and eke this. Hey, yeah, you lost this, but you want to raise something else. Remember, UCLA won the regular season title. They won it by 4 games. They took Arizona down to the wire, down 2 starters in an excellent game where they had their 3 best options all go for double figures. And unfortunately, Singleton, who had 5 threes a week ago against Arizona, put up 0. He put up 0. While Arizona's best, one of their best 3-point options, and Courtney Ramey, he only hit 1 3, and that happened to be the game winner, and that was the difference. You can go to the Amari Bailey dunk, where I'm not entirely sure how that's an offensive foul, and that was the difference. There's so many little minute details, but that's the danger of March. And you hope that the Bruins got bit early, and it doesn't come over the next 3 weeks, right? The next 3 weekends after this, and hope that it is done. It's over said and done. But again, let's expect UCLA with some heavy, hard-hitting effort from the bench, some great production against an Arizona team that threw bodies at them, multiple players with size, and the Bruins were just that close. In the end, we'll have to wait, and you'd rather lose this one than lose next week or the week after. So you hope that is the case. But until then, Bruins fans will just have to sit here sadly with an open chance for a win and hope in the next week when it comes down to that again, which it will, UCLA won't be blowing out teams in the tournament. It'll be a lot of grinded out games against equally just as tough teams. Maybe not as big as Arizona, but tough games will be ahead for the Bruins. And while they've usually found ways to win, and this night they didn't. And there will be chances in the future to change that and learn from what went wrong over the last few minutes where they just missed some of their shots against the team that forced the Bruins to miss their shots. It is what it is, and you hope that's the last dissatisfaction for this season. I'm Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer, Locked On UCLA. Stay strong, but we'll have to get an open mind. Hopefully Bona's ready, and that will make a difference. But I'm warning you now, be prepared for UCLA to be screwed in the Selection Sunday show, the review, and the preview, anything, whatever it is. We will react to Selection Sunday, but just don't expect the Bruins to get a 1 seed or a 2 seed in the West, I think. I think they're really going to push it to the Bruins. I'm not entirely sure that UCLA will get any favors whatsoever. I don't think that should be the case, but I think that is what's going to happen. So just stay tuned for that. Locked On UCLA fans, you're going to get your hands up after I tell you first that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook. It's the official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and it's with us at Locked On. Go check out your no-sweat first bet at FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Again, FanDuel.com/LockedOn to check out your no-sweat first bet. If you sign up and get $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win, go check it out. FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And also, go get a Built Bar. You're sitting here in sadness. Maybe you want to go munch on some ice cream. Well, go get a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, but it's 100% covered in real chocolate. You're sitting here and need a late night snack. If this happens again or you're excited, go get a protein bar that's got whopping, I believe, 17 grams of protein with Built Bar. They've got churro flavors. They've got all sorts of goodies with peanut butter brownie, coconut almond, 17 grams of protein, but only 4 grams of sugar. So fun in the taste. Go get it at Walmart, Sam's Club, or Big Box over at Built.com. You're not going to miss it, where healthy is actually tasty with Built Bar. UCLA fans, a disappointed 8-clap, but we'll get ready for March Madness and the NCAA tournament and everything in between. So, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, UCLA. UCLA fight, fight, fights. There'll be better days ahead. Now we just sit, breathe, and relax. UCLA fans, this has been Locked On UCLA. Go Bruins.